Hey everyone, it's Keith here. Before we get into the video, I want to thank you all for checking out my content. It's been an incredible year meeting people in the carry industry and talking to many of you in my Instagram DMs, as well as working on fun projects with awesome brands. None of it could have happened without your support. Alright, in today's video, we're taking a look at some of my favorite EDC and travel gear in 2023. And for each category, I'll also share some honorable mentions. Starting with backpacks, the first honorable mention goes to the Dayfarer V2 backpack from Modern Dayfarer. This one was a solid EDC backpack, and I love how sleek the black ballistic nylon looks. The Dayfarer V2 is a 25-litre bag with a decent amount of organization. The main compartment has a shoe compartment, which is perfect for anyone who needs to carry an extra pair of shoes to the gym. The shoe compartment isn't useful for my use case, but I'm glad it can be folded down to allocate more room for other essentials like a tech pouch and jacket. The shoulder straps and back panel are well padded and feel pretty comfortable on the body. The Dayfarer V2 is a sleek and smart looking backpack for work and gym. Another backpack that deserves an honorable mention is the Simple Weekender backpack. I've been using it for about a year now, and it's a great work and adventure pack. The exterior is made from a recycled Cordura with a TPU coating. It has a pretty rigid structure and silhouette, and it's well constructed. If you want to learn more about the Weekender backpack, I've made a more detailed video covering my tech backpack setup that you can check out in the top info card. When it comes to my favorite backpack in 2023, it was a very obvious choice, and it's the Able Carry Daybreaker 2. If you see my Instagram stories, you've probably seen me post a lot about this bag throughout the year. I managed to get an early sample before its release, and I loved using it for the past 9 months. I've used it as a daily carry and even taken it on a few trips to Sydney, Melbourne, Hong Kong, and Shenzhen. I've also carried this backpack on a handful of hikes, and it's been amazing. The Daybreaker 2 has a 25-litre capacity, and it's fairly lightweight. My full review of this backpack is coming soon, but in the meantime, if you want to hear more on my thoughts, you can check out the top info card for my travel setup with the Daybreaker 2. Moving on to slings and tote bags, the first honorable mention goes to the Simple All-Terrain Tote. I'm not a tote bag user, but I love this design. The combination of the recycled Cordura with X-Pack looks sleek and rugged. This has a 20-litre carry capacity, and it looks pretty big on me. Although I haven't carried this daily, I appreciate the technical design and attention to detail. Another honorable mention goes to the TomTok H02 sling in the small size. It's an affordable and accessible sling. It costs under $50 and you can easily find it on Amazon. Sometimes I've even seen it go on sale for about $30. The TomTok sling has a decent build quality with the right amount of organization. It fits up to a Switch or iPad mini with room for daily essentials like keys, wallet, and phone. I'm pretty surprised by this TomTok sling. It's a great value and a good option for most people. My favorite sling is one I've been testing for the past 2 months, and it's the Alpaca Ghost Sling Nano. This is a small 1.6 litre sling, but it fits everything I usually carry in my pockets. For example, 2 phones, earbuds, keys, wallet, and a flashlight. I also brought this with me as a carry-on sling, and it works so well with larger backpacks. I can keep my essentials and a passport within reach. The Ghost Sling Nano also has removable straps that can convert into a small EDC or tech pouch. So far, I'm digging the design, and I love the black Exoflux material, which makes it my favorite sling in 2023. What's your favorite sling you've tried this year? Let me know in the comments. When it comes to pouches, I've enjoyed using the Alpaca Pencil Case Pro. It's intended to be a pencil case, but I find the design to work just as great for tech accessories. The top section has plenty of space for irregular shaped items like cables, wall chargers, or earbuds. I think it's quite a versatile pouch, especially if you don't need a large setup for tech accessories. The next honorable mention goes to the Rush Faster pencil case. And before I talk about it, I want to give a quick shout out to my friends at Rush Faster on the launch of their first collection of EDC products. The EDC backpack and tech case are also well designed, but this pencil case is my favorite from the release. It has a slim profile and it's much smaller than the Alpaca pencil case I just talked about. Inside, it's got a lovely OD green interior, and the highlight for me are the dividers that organize your pens and stationery. If you have any nice stationery like the Apple Pencil or a Sol-built permanent marker, you can separate them from getting scratched. I've enjoyed using it, and if you're looking for a pencil case, this is a great option to consider. Alright, my favorite pouch is the Alpaca Vertex pouch in the black Axoflux. It's a very big pouch and I can fit my entire work setup, which consists of SSDs, cables, a mouse, and other tech essentials. Even though you can attach a strap and carry it as a sling, after upgrading my laptop, I rarely ever need to carry my tech pouch setup by itself. For my use case, I always throw the Vertex pouch in my backpack along with my laptop. Another highlight is that it can even fit my Fujifilm X-T3 with 2 lenses if I want a minimal camera insert. If you want to learn more about the Alpaca Vertex pouch, you can check out my detailed look in the top right corner. What are some of your favorite pouches this year? Let me know in the comments as well. Moving on to travel gear, my favorite pair of shoes I've tested this year is the Adidas Terrex Soulstride. It was quite an easy pick, even though I recently picked up the Adidas Terrex Voyager 21 and Salomon Speedcross 5, but I haven't gotten around to testing them. The Terrex Soulstride is very comfortable. I've worn it on many hikes and for daily wear and haven't had any issues. I don't like narrow shoes and there's plenty of room in the toe box, and my toes don't feel cramped even with thick socks. I picked up a size 7 US and it's true to size. Luckily, I didn't run into any issues with sizing, unlike the Speedcross 5s, which were difficult to find the right fit. I've enjoyed wearing the Soulstride throughout the year and it's held up very well. They recently released a new version called the Soulstride Flow, which has the Gore-Tex lining and a Continental outsole. It looks like a solid option, but costs much more. If the Soulstride goes on sale or clearance, I would consider picking up another pair of these. My favorite jacket this year goes to the Uniqlo Block Tech Parka. I wasn't planning on talking about jackets in this video, but after a recent experience, I wanted to share my thoughts on it. While I was in Hong Kong in October, I was caught in a Category 8 typhoon and had to walk home in heavy downpour for about 45 minutes. And this jacket kind of surprised me. For the first 15 minutes or so, the rain was beating on the outer layer and was perfectly fine. Around 30 minutes, I noticed the outer layer started to get soaked and I could feel the moisture on my skin. Once I got home, I noticed areas around the cuff, hem, and neck were completely soaked. As for my body, most areas were still fairly dry. I'm honestly not too sure if I should be impressed they kept me mostly dry in the typhoon, or if the water repellency performed below average. I know it's not waterproof, but if you have any thoughts or experience with water repellent jackets, let me know in the comments. I'd love to learn more. Also, another product I was thoroughly impressed with was the Able Carry 13-day bag. I was carrying this backpack during the typhoon and it kept all of my camera gear inside safe and dry from the rain. The rain was beating off the X-Pack and none of it entered the YKK AquaGuard zips. The 13-day bag held up very well in the typhoon and exceeded my expectations. I didn't include it in this year's category because I've already featured it in my 2022 favorite gear video. However, if you want to learn more about this bag, you can check out my full review on the channel. Moving on to pocket carry, let's talk about flashlights first. For me, there were 2 flashlights I've enjoyed using throughout the year, and it's the Olight i5R and the Warrior Mini 3. The Olight i5R was perfect for those situations where I didn't need the extra output of the Warrior Mini 3. It's easy to carry and the lowest 15 lumen output was pretty handy. The runtime on the 15 lumens was pretty good and I only needed to charge it a couple of times since I've had it. The 350 lumen turbo mode was quite useful in a pinch, but I mostly got by with the 15 lumen output. As for the bigger brother Warrior Mini 3, I like this light a lot and it might be one of the best flashlights under $100. If you want to hear my thoughts on this light, you can check out my review in the top info card. When it comes to knives, I have 2 favorites this year. The Benchmade Mini Bug Out and the Rive Knives Recon. The Mini Bug Out has a solid build quality, the action feels great, and the axis lock is super fidgety. I've seen reviews where the Omega springs have snapped, and even my friend's Mini Bug Out has snapped a few times. Luckily, I haven't experienced it while I've had this knife. I think only time will tell. The only thing I don't like is when I close this knife, the blade has nicked my palm several times. Which brings us to my second favorite knife, the Rive Knives Recon. This one is a small Tanto folder with a crossbar lock. Besides the aggressive angular design, the other thing I like about this knife is the flat section on the rear of the handle. The edge sits flush in my palm and I can get a lot of leverage to close the knife. Even though it's a small knife, I have zero issues closing it. The only thing I'm not too sure about is the slightly wobbly crossbar. I think it can be tuned a bit better by taking it apart, but I haven't got around to it. These two are my favourite knives this year, but there are also a few others I liked, such as the Civivi Chevalier and the James Brown Wells. What are some of your favourite knives this year? Let me know in the comments. And finally, let's talk about watches. The first honourable mention goes to the Marathon Steel Navigator. I'm a huge fan of the Fibre Shell Navigator, and it's been a part of my daily carry for the past year. When the stainless steel version was released, I was very happy to see it make its return. My friends at Marathon sent me one to check out, and I think it's a great watch. If you want a more detailed look at the Marathon Steel Navigator, you can check out my review in the top info card. My next honourable mention goes to the Namika Shirahama Neo Tokyo Black DLC. It's got quite a long name, but I love the design. I love cyberpunk, and this watch is amazing. One of my favourite things is the inverted indices. I love the inverted indices on watches like Unimatic and always wanted something similar. The Shirahama does it quite well, and it's still very legible. Another thing I love about this watch is the sapphire bezel. It's the first watch I own that has it, and I love how it looks. The sapphire bezel is also loomed, so when it gets dark, the hands, indices and bezel all light up in the dark. I really like the combination of the black DLC case, white indices, and ultraviolet fume dial. At different angles, the bright violet fume dial can completely disappear and make the watch look super stealthy. I feel that the black DLC case and purple fume dial are Namika's signature look. I love the design and execution of the Shirahama, but the downside is that it's quite thick and heavy. I don't mind the thickness, but it weighs around 130 grams. I have a small wrist, and by the end of the day, my arm feels a little tired. Moving on to my favorite watch of 2023, and it's the Wachnacool version of the RZE Glacier Endeavour. It's got a beautiful textured glacier dial, a lightweight titanium case, and a micro adjust buckle. The dial is stunning, and I could stare at it all day. This is the first watch I've tried that has a micro adjust buckle, and it's made a big difference to the wearability throughout the day. I had a pre-production sample for a couple of months, and it was very difficult to return this watch because I liked it a lot. Once the production versions were released, I was finally reunited with this watch, and I still love it. I think the team at RZE did a great job with this watch, and it's my favorite in 2023. And that wraps up all of my favorite gear in 2023. And what are some of your favorites this year? Drop them in the comments. Thank you all for an incredible year, and I appreciate your support and for watching my videos. That's all from me for this year, and I might see you somewhere else next year. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you all a happy new year.